What's up everybody, this is Nico from Limitless, and today we are taking a look at the deck that a lot of people claim to be the current best deck in the format, which is Zoroark Lycanroc. And yeah, before we get into games, as usual, I will talk you through the list. Pretty standard, we play 4 Zoroark, 4 Zoroark GX and 1 regular Zoroark. Zoroark GX should be pretty familiar to basically everyone by now. Trade ability, once during your turn, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. This ability obviously stacks, so if you have 2 Zoroark, 3 Zoroark, maybe even 4 Zoroark, you can use trade multiple times a turn, which is what makes every Zoroark deck so good. And then the only attack of Zoroark we will be using in this deck is Righteous Beating. 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play. This also counts our active Pokemon, so Zoroark himself is also counted into this damage. So if you have 5 bench Pokemon and a Zoroark active, you deal 120, Choice Band 150, Kukui 170, and so on. Yeah, Trickster GX we won't use because we don't play the necessary energy, so I won't even bother talking about this attack. Then we have the regular Breakpoint Zoroark, which has the ability Stand In. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. An ability that we have seen multiple times by now. We're at Caldeo, and I believe there's something in one of the new sets, not this one, but the set after or something, that also has basically the same ability. So yeah, pretty basic. And then Mind Jack does 30 damage for each of our opponent's bench Pokemon plus 10 base damage. So with a full bench and a Choice Band plus Kukui, you could deal 210. With a Choice Band and no Kukui, 190, and just basic, if he has his entire bench filled, it's 160. So you're able to sometimes hit pretty nice numbers with Zoroark, and it's a nice take to just have in the deck. Then the second part of the deck is Lycanroc GX. Basically the same as Zoroark. You should be familiar by now with Lycanroc. Bloodthirsty Eyes. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with the active Pokemon. Basically Lysander as an ability. So pretty decent, especially if you consider that we can just draw each turn multiple cards with Zoroark, so we don't even necessarily have to use a draw supporter, so we can just use a utility supporter and Lycanroc, so that's pretty good. Then Claw Slash for 3 energies, 110. It's pretty good in a mirror in general against Zoroark decks, because we can just knock out a Zoroark. And then Dangerous Rogue is basically Zoroark from Breakthrough, just as a GX attack and more damage. So for 2 energies, does 50 damage for each of our opponent's bench Pokemon. It's very nice to get rid of big walls that we otherwise won't be able to deal with, such as like Decidueyes or just stuff that we can't hit on weakness. Maybe even we have to get rid of a good life support because it's threatening all of our Lycanrocs. So pretty decent attack, and also like the only GX attack in this deck we will ever use, because we don't play Psychic Energies for Tapu Lele and we don't play Darkness Energies for Zoroark GX. Then we have 1 Mew. Yeah, Buzzwole is a pretty relevant attacker, and opposing to Zoroark Golisopod, who can just utilize Mewtwo because of so many Ace Rollers. Here we need a Mew, or actually some people decide to not play Mew or Mewtwo in this deck, but I definitely want to have an out against Buzzwole or even against Gallade. So I decided to put in Mew, which was a very valuable addition to the deck. I really liked it, and yeah, just a nice Psychic attacker, versatile. This Pokemon can use attacks of any Pokemon in play, our opponent's Pokemon and ourselves, and we still need the necessary energies. So we just attach a DC to Mew and Righteous Beating for weakness, so like 240 on a Buzzwole or more than enough on a Gallade. Just pretty good. And of course 3 Tapu Lele. No, that's not Tapu Lele, that's Tapu Lele. 1 attack, search your deck for supporter, and it you drive 20 times. I mean, if I have to explain you what Tapu Lele does, I don't know. You should just know the card by now. And then for our item cards, we have a lot of like unique stuff because we have one energy lotto. Lets us look at our top 7 cards. We may reveal energy we find there and put it into our hand. Very nice to find DCEs or just maybe the energy we need for the turn, because sometimes you just want a strong energy or fighting energy and you only have DCEs. So sometimes you just want to energy lotto. Then 2 enhanced simmer. Special energies are so relevant right now that we just want to have a way to remove them. Field blower, getting rid of tool cards. Just basic things. Also helps to get rid of Perilous City. 4 Puzzle of Time. Pretty standard in Zoroark decks because we draw so many cards, so it's super likely that we have 2 puzzles in hand, and 2 puzzles combined are just super strong, especially now that we don't have Verse Seeker anymore. Rescue Stretcher, just shuffle back Pokemon or take one back to our hand. Special Charge. Choose us shuffle back special energies. If we need the 4th or the 5th strong energy, a 5th or 6th DCE, or maybe we had to discard some of them, so just getting them back. Ultra Ball. Every deck plays Ultra Ball. Ace Roller. It allows us to heal as a supporter card. Bridget. Staple in Zoroark decks, at least 3, sometimes even people are trying out 4. So searching our deck for 3 basic Pokemon or just 1 EX. But we will most likely just use it to get Zoroarks and Rockruffs. 2 Guzmas because we have Lycanroc, so we don't need the full 4. 1 Mellow. Another card that's very popular in Zoroark decks because it just allows us to basically search our deck for 2 cards. 4N, pretty standard. 2 Kukui, because this deck is more aggressive than Zoroark Golispot. We play Kukui instead of, for example, more Acerola, to just have a more aggressive approach. 2 Sycamore. You don't need so many Sycamores in Zoroark decks because your hand is most likely going to be very, very huge, so you just don't want to discard all your stuff. 2 Choice Band, 1 Float Zone. And then for the energies we have 3 strong energies, 4 DCE and 2 fighting energies. So yeah, the list is pretty nice. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I first played only 3 Zoroark GX and 3 Lycanroc because oftentimes I felt like I need the 3rd Lycanroc and you discard Zoroark way too often, but in the end it paid off to listen to Tord and add the 4th Zoroark, because it's just so much better to have multiple Zoroarks in early turns. So yeah, that's the list, and I hope you will enjoy the games. So we're up against Colorless Psychic. Could be a variety of decks, but it's most likely going to be Espeon Garb, because a lot of people started playing it, especially for the Psychic Challenge, and some probably just still play it. We're going first. If this, like, if Mellow or N would have been a basic Pokemon, this hand would be so insane. Bridget and 2 Zoroark, but unfortunately no basic. It looks like our opponent fell asleep by choosing which Pokemon he wants to put on his bench, and then he decided to not bench anything at all. Interesting. That's still pretty decent. 2 Zora and a Bridget, Layla. That's nice. Also Field Blower for Garb. That's good. Looks like we hit one of those guys who take ages for pressing the done button or the mulligan draw button, and it's going to be Jumper Garb. Okay. So I'm going to grab 2 Rockruffs, because we already have 2 Zoroark and Jumper is weak to fighting, so having the option to use Lycanroc as an attacker is always very nice. Plays with Nest Ball. Oh, it's actually going to be a hybrid version. with Espeon and Trumper. Probably he either plays only 1 or 2 Drumpers, or he plays a list that's very similar to Todd's list from Bremen, where he ran 1-1 Espeon GX and 1 Espeon EX. Espeon is absolutely no threat for this deck, since we have Zoroark. We don't have too many Acerolas like Golespot Zoroark would have, but we should still be fine. And he already promotes his Espeon, so we will definitely get a hit onto him now. So I guess I will Ultra Ball away Mellow and Choice Band for Zoroark already. Also means I don't have to get N from my deck, because I can just play my hand down and use Sycamore in the end. So I definitely want to Field Blower this Float Stone, and then I will probably just Field Blower his Choice Band, because Tramper without a Choice Band doesn't even knock out a Layla, so that's good. I don't want to bench him yet. Maybe not ever. But let's see. I will definitely grab another Zoroark. Last Zoroark we have in deck, so 2 GX are priced. We want to trade here. We also have to keep an eye out for our item count. And all these cards are pretty decent. Especially, I will just not trade at all. Not trading at all. It seems so sweet. I might actually. I can't trade Special Charge because of Drumper. I don't want to trade Puzzle. Maybe I will actually trade Puzzle this time. Because skipping 2 trades just doesn't feel right. Do I want to keep Strong? Kinda. But I also want to keep N. It's just discard Strong. I mean, you have Special Charge. And we get another N and Strong combo, so that didn't matter at all. So let's see. Okay, he will most likely go for the energy denial play. But I already have another DC. And we're also definitely going to attack into a Drumper and not like Kuzma up Espeon to take 2 prizes, because Espeon, as I said, is no threat. And Drumper's energy denial is always a threat, and also it can still Berserk for 150, so dealing with that ASAP is always good. And we get to discard 2 Bridget, getting rid of unnecessary cards. I mean, I could have Guzman up Gaudo, but as I said, the energy denial is just... we don't want that to happen. Or do we actually? I mean, that just seems so perfect to just go for the knockout onto Garb. I mean, yeah, it's fine, because if he attaches 3 energies to Drumper, we can just use Lele because he has a choice band attached to it, so yeah. Getting rid of Garbodor should be the better play here. Because as I always try to preach, N and Garbodor, especially together, are always win options for our opponent, and if we can limit his win options, why not? Why shouldn't we just do it? As I said, he goes for the energy denial again. We have Acerola, that's good. So if we can actually get a DC, I can just Acerola into later. Keep in mind I can't Ultra Ball for Zoroark because two of them are priced. Okay, he can do 150 next turn, so that's still not a knockout. So we'll just attach a fighting here. And way DCs I might discard. Should be two, right? Yeah. Shuffling back DCs already. Let's go. And Kukui. Try digging for energies, and there's the DC. And we also have an enhanced timer. I mean, Lycanroc doesn't care if he has 3 energies or 1, so maybe we can bait out another energy or just deny him a little bit. Sophocles. Interesting. Okay, he has Garbodor for sure, but he already played supporter and I have Guzma. So next one is probably going to be attached to Zoroark, Guzma Garbodor, and take the knockout. Which probably will mean I will have to let him big wheel, unless he decides to retreat. For whatever reason, because why would you promote an Espeon that has 120 on it? Okay, he actually goes for the Espeon. That makes my play to just get rid of Garbodor even better. There's no reason to use Field Blower. I'm safe enough to just go for the knockout. So, Righteous Beating. Now he's in a pretty rough spot because he only has a Drumper that gets knocked out by Lycanroc in one hit, and he has a Espeon with 120. No troubles in play, so he will not get another Garbotoxin into play. Discards another Floatzone as well. He will probably just try to go for Energy Denial again, but then I just Acerola, pick up Zoroark, attach DC from hand to Lycanroc and take the knockout. So I should win in the next 2 turns. That's going to be another Trubbish. Or he doesn't even have another Trubbish, maybe. Also he has 2 Choice Band in discard, 2 Floatzone in discard and 2 on his field. So a lot of tools gone as well. Or maybe he will actually Berserk. He actually Berserks. The desperation play. I assume he will just concede once I put down Acerola. Oh, he does not. I don't really have to trade. Oh, I can trade away my Ultra Balls. No, that's not something I trade with. So double puzzle as well in my deck, and Claw Slash for the knockout. And next turn we will just win pretty much for sure. Ah, even though he can still N. Still enough for a knockout. 60 plus 30 times the energy, so no. Okay. He divides. I mean, I have plenty of options to just retrieve my Lele and EOS Lycanroc, so yeah. We won. I'll just go for the easy option, attach. No need to be M, and Claw Slash. And it's going to be Buzzwole, most likely. Should be a very doable matchup, especially thanks to this guy. I don't want to start with him, but I also don't want to start with any of the others, so I will actually... I will just start with Mew. Maybe that actually ends up being super good. Bench Zoroark and Rockruff. I mean, this hand just tells me to Lele for Sycamore. If I would bridge it, there would just be nothing for the next turn. I mean, I also have one Zoroark and one Rockruff already in play. Can even attach an energy to Rockruff. Oh, that's okay. So I guess I just Ultra Ball away Special Charge. I mean, yeah. Let's just keep the puzzle and end for sure. Having a Zoroark guarantees one Zoroark for next turn, and then DCE to Mew, already grabbing 2 prize cards. Unless, of course, he goes on a rampage with the max elixirs. Proclitail actually allows us to get another Rockruff into play next turn. That's nice. I mean, Mew's getting knocked out next turn 100%, but at least he did a little bit of his job by getting 2 prize cards. That's pretty decent, I'd say. I mean, then Lycanroc can grab another 2, and maybe we can just rescue Switcher from Mew for the last 2 prize cards. But it's definitely going to be kind of a race to win. But taking the first 2 prizes in this race is pretty good, I would say. be very nice to get the knockout onto this Buzzwole next time, because it already has 2 energies. And you will need 3 energies on a Buzzwole to be a threat to a Buzzwole, to a Lycanroc. So also, if he isn't able to end us this turn, that opens up a lot of options, thanks to the cards I have in hand. But this is most likely going to be Lelefoin. But if he benches a Lele, that also means Lycanroc already, without Strong and without Choice Band, deals 200 damage. So if I get Lycanroc and Energy next turn, I can knock out his active for sure. And as we just saw from my prize cards, I drew the second Lycanroc from my prizes, so both are in the deck. So let's see. That's a Zoroark, that's an Ultra Ball, and that's an N. So we should be able to get Lycanroc. Oh, well, we should be able, we will definitely get a Lycanroc, but do we get the energy? That's the question. But I will have 2 trades next turn, I will have a draw support I can still play, so shouldn't be too tough. And if we get 2 prizes this turn, that definitely puts us in the driver's seat. And we actually have energy as well. So that's actually... So I will have to trade first, so I can still end. Or whatever my draw support is. Ooh, do I? Okay, I still have 2 puzzles left after I discard this one. But I could also just... Let me just discard Energy Lotto. So Ultra Ball, discard Ace Roller and a Strong. Get a Lycanroc. Don't use ability. Attach a Strong. N. Nothing relevant. But definitely enough to win the game. So how many Max Elixirs does he have left? 1 Max Elixir, so he will not get 3 energies onto Buzzwole. It's basically impossible. And we have Mellow if he doesn't end, for Lycanroc for game. Basically because we can just grab Choice Band, attach Strong active and deal 170 onto his Lela. Let's see. Plenty of resources left. Maybe that's going to be another Ultra Ball for another Lele for another N. Ah, it's going to be the Buzzwole. So he either has N in hand or he just doesn't N us. Or he tries to draw in. Because he doesn't have Lele left. And he has N, okay. So let's see. DC and Field Blow. That doesn't really win us the game now. But he can still trade 2 times. Okay, that's an E-Hammer. I will keep E-Hammer for safety. Choice band. So I guess I will actually discard a DC. Okay, we have a Kukui. Ah, that's not enough. But maybe, let's see. Maybe we can draw something off Kukui. No, just another Kukui and another DC. So how do we do it the safest way? Well, I will definitely not. How do I actually attach? He has one max elixir left. He did 90, so he would need Kukui to get the knockout. I can actually try to just attack with Lycanroc. You know what? That's actually what I'm going to do. But I'm also going to attach a choice band to one of my Zoroarks, or do I? 110, 130, 150, 180. This is Claw Smash. 10 damage short, unlucky. He should still be fine. Okay, he attaches for turn. It's already a regular fighting, so he won't be able to attach a strong. And he also has only one max elixir. So unless he has a Acerola or Guzma now, I mean he can still Lycanroc. Probably going to grab something up to stall. Or can he actually get a knockout? I actually doesn't even use the ability, okay. So I guess if he misses Acerola or Switch or whatever he plays, he just loses. Looks like he probably just realized that he lost. Okay, Sycamore, so no N, no Acerola, no Pokemon Center Lady, whatever. I mean, just go ahead and use your Max Elixir, you can't attach a third energy anyways. And yeah, he just realized that he lost. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the games and I was able to give you an impression on the deck and whether or not you want to try it out for yourself. I definitely suggest you to do so because it's definitely one of the strongest, some even say it's the strongest deck right now in Standard, so yeah, make sure to check it out.